What's up, AC fam? Welcome back to another video, and in this video, I'm going to be talking about fantasy football, and particularly Dak Prescott. Okay, so to start off our kind of story here, I have to go back to probably about a month ago when I had my fantasy football draft, which went normal. This year I got the first pick, and I picked Jonathan Taylor. Not injury prone, a pretty consistent player. As of last year, he's become the number one running back, and so I was like, okay, it's going to be good, like Jonathan Taylor. So I picked Jonathan Taylor, all went well. Second round comes along, I have back-to-back picks. I take Josh Allen, who's still available in the second round. I don't know if I could have waited out longer, though, because I still would have had to wait kind of like 2 more rounds after my back-to-back pick to get him, and I was getting made fun of for, anyway. But, yeah, my entire team so far is looking pretty good. And after week 1, I check in with all my friends in the fantasy league, right? And one of my friends, the one friend I probably didn't ask about how their fantasy was going, he was the friend who had Dak Prescott as a starting quarterback. And if you don't know about Dak Prescott, he broke his thumb in week 1. And in my opinion, and pretty much everybody else in my league and all my friends think that Dak Prescott is kind of washed, kind of overrated, because he consistently is being listed as like a top 10 quarterback when really he only had one good season and then got injured and then came back last year only to choke and then got injured again, and all that stuff, which really doesn't put him out to be a top 10 quarterback. And people are just saying, well, his skill level is there, he just can't execute. Exactly. We haven't seen his full skill level, sure, but that doesn't mean that he's top 10, But, yeah, and he has proven to be an average quarterback that can kind of be injury prone. And that's another thing I want to talk about, injury prone players. My favorite one to talk about is by far Christian McCaffrey, because of how annoying and funny it is when people only talk about Christian McCaffrey is a number 1 running back. Like, that was going on for probably a year and a half. But why? He's fast, sure. He was the first player to rack up 1,000 yards, 1,000 receiving. Or sorry, not the first player. He was one of 3 players to rack up 1,000 yards and 1,000 yards rushing and receiving in one season. Excuse me. Which, that's impressive, yes, but that doesn't mean he should be the number 1 pick. Yes, he is a fantasy football legend after 1 year. 1 year doesn't define a player, which is why I wouldn't put Cooper Kupp in my top 3 players of all time, let alone top 3 wide receivers of all time. However, if he continues to play like he was last year, he will be up there. But Christian McCaffrey had that 1,000 receiving, 1,000 rushing yard season, which was great. He's a great player on paper, but when you watch him play, but and on paper it all looks fine, but he's injury prone, and even after he recovered from his injury, he never really proved to be that good, to be as good as he once was. I mean, that's just my take on fantasy football. However, right now, my top 3 favorites for fantasy this week. Okay. Justin Jefferson, because I think he's just going to carry that Minnesota Vikings team as far as he can. Put him on his back and just run with them. Kirk, as long as he can throw decent passes to Justin Jefferson, the Vikings are going to be fine. Not just because I have him, but I think Jonathan Taylor, he's due for a good one. Week 1, he did good. Week 2 just fell off a little bit. Week 3 was Week 4 he's gonna pop off, I guarantee you. And then, I'm trying to think. I can't really go quarterback here because, actually no, I will go quarterback. I'll don't think this is completely out of left field, but mark my words, Lamar Jackson. He had that 50 fantasy point game, 45 or whatever, I forgot. I think he can pull off another 35 to 40 point fantasy game as well. However, like, those are my favorites for this week. However, I think top 3 ranked right now of most valuable players. I mean, Nick Chubb had a pretty good game last week, but I don't think you can set him apart for just that one good game. Justin Herbert. Honestly, though, he gets a decent amount of yards, doesn't throw too many incompletions or picks. And if he averages, I think he's averaging about 2 touchdowns per game. I mean, if you are looking for a new quarterback, maybe consider trading for Justin Herbert. Other than that, another quarterback, obviously, Josh Allen. He hasn't gotten a single game under 30 this entire year. 30 fantasy points. I'm not talking about fantasy here. However, like, he is just insane. Rushing and passing. Usually you see rushing quarterbacks like Lamar. He can throw the ball, but when it comes to throwing it deep or even throwing it medium, I mean, if it's a tight window, you probably ain't going to make the throw. But with Josh Allen, their entire Bills defense is built around his rushing ability and his ability to throw the ball deep and medium, to where you'll see very few like really short dump offs. So, I mean, he's racking up a good amount of points every week. Look for Josh Allen whenever you're thinking about trading. And then for my last one this week, I don't know. I mean, I think if you're looking, I'm going to go Justin Jefferson. Kind of similar to Josh Allen, but not the 35 plus, 20 plus every single week, which on paper, it's just amazing. Like, you need to get Justin Jefferson on your team for I'm not necessarily going to say championship run, but if you just need a receiver and you have some good pieces that you could trade for a receiver, Justin Jefferson's the receiver you're going to go for, okay? Always look for Justin Jefferson anytime in your fantasy draft. Maybe not a consensus number 1 pick, maybe not top 5, maybe not top 10, but just overall, always go for him. All right, thank you guys so much for watching. Feel free to drop a like on this video, drop a sub, only if you feel like it. It's free and it'll help the channel a lot. Anyway, peace.